Hey everyone, it is me, Prince Caius here, and I am making a what if Deku was a vampire, part one. Um, I will do all of your what ifs if you ask me to, like I said last time, and I love a bunch of stuff, so you can just ask me. So, just get into the intro. Okay, so he could use magic. He is born in 1800s. He will be the first one with a quirk, and it will be fire control. He can create and control the fire output in his body. Um, uh, and uh, the sun does not affect him, and he can go into churches and um, anything anything holy will not hurt him as well. He has super healing, super strength, super speed, super endurance, and he can turn into bats at night. He can turn it in bats at night or daytime. It doesn't matter. But he will be about 123 or so, but that is during the when he's a teenager, like when he's in the anime. But he's the son of Dracula, Count Dracula. So now let's kick it off. Dracula had a kid. After 20 years of being a vampire, he wanted to have a kid that can beat him in combat. So Dracula gives his baby to a church, hoping that it won't affect him, but it affects him because of the stuff that he did. And that's another thing. It will only affect him unless he does something evil, like drink someone's blood. If he drinks someone's blood out of a bag, or something like that, it doesn't count. So, that's a good one. When Deku, okay, so Dracula went to Japan, was waiting for his dad, was waiting for Deku to grow up. When Deku was a kid in the church, everyone thought he was a demon because his eyes at night is red and he has fangs out all the time. And when he gets angry or when he gets hurt, his fangs grow an inch longer and his eyes turn bloodshot red, and his iris turns red as well. Deku thinks of the kids as friends for years until one day someone with a crossbow arrives at the church. The man goes to Deku and takes him away, far away from the village, inside the woods. The man asks if Deku is a vampire, and Deku asks, "What is a vampire?" The man tells him that vampires are unholy monsters with fangs. They're weak to the sun, and anything holy can kill them. Deku says, I have fangs. I can hear heartbeats, and I can smell from far away, but I can be in the sunlight and by holy water, and I drink holy water almost all the time. And when I smell blood, my eyes turn blood red and my fangs grow an inch longer. The man was shook by what Deku said. If you want, the man asked him if he wants to be trained. If he wants to be trained by a vampire hunter. Deku goes underneath his shirt and grabs his necklace and says, anything that is unholy should be taken down. And then he prays to God. The man says, okay, he has a cross on, and it's not burning him, but he's a vampire, so he must be a newborn. The man and Deku goes away. Deku and the vampire hunter trains for years. There are thousands of vampire hunters training with Deku and the man. I'm just calling him the man because I'm not giving him a name right now, because he's going to be dead in a few minutes. So Deku did kill thousands of vampires. And Deku was there for 100 years. 100 years in the training place. And Deku hears his dad is in Japan. And he obviously goes over there because he learned that he is the son of Count Dracula. When Deku did go to Japan, he developed his quirk before anyone else in the whole world. Deku thought it was a new vampire skill he acquired from being older or something, but just trains with his quirk every single day. The first day Deku goes to school in Japan, everyone was saying their name and quirk. If they have a quirk. When it was Deku's turn, he came up to the room, the front classroom. He said, my name is Izuku Midoriya, and my quirk is, well, fire, but I am the first person to have a quirk in this whole world. Oh, and how I developed a quirk is I'm a vampire. Everyone loves vampires, so I'm just saying that I'm a vampire now, all the time. I can't get hurt from that holy stuff or whatever. Everyone starts to laugh at Deku because they think he's actually thinking that he's just funny or being mean. They're being mean to him. Deku grabs a knife out of his pocket and he stabbed his leg. After he did, his eyes turned red. bloodshot red. His iris turned red, and his fangs grew little bigger. Deku pulls out the knife and says, "I'm a vampire. I'm a first generation of all of the quirks in the whole world." Deku starts to heal in no matter seconds. Everyone starts to believe Deku. He goes home alone after school every single day, and he always trains because he doesn't need sleep. He never needed sleep because he is a vampire. This goes on for a few years until the anime. Let's hurry up do the part of the anime. And okay, so one day when Deku was walking from school and he takes a shortcut home, the sludge villain jumps on Deku. But Deku uses his quirk and solidifies, I think that's how you say it, but solidifies the ground around him, and it's melting the the walls and roof by the sludge villain, and it falls on him, and then it's so hot that the sludge villain passes out. All Might looks at Deku in shock for what he'd done and says, "I am here." Deku grabs a notebook and out of his backpack and says, "All Might, you're here. I'm a big fan, and you're the 8th one to have one for all." Wow, I love it. I love the quirk. I met the person who created the quirk, and I met all of the people who passed it down. So, will you give me an autograph? I can also heal your wounds if you want, from All For One. What All For One did? All Might grabs Deku's front shirt in shock and yells, "How do you know this kid? Do you work for him?" Deku smiles and says, "No, I've been alive for hundreds of years. I'm a vampire. I'm a first generation of having the quirk. And if you don't believe me, here's my fangs." He shows him his fangs and shows his red eyes. All Might lets go of Deku in horror and asks him if he wants to train with him. Deku tells All Might that he's the first one to have a quirk again, and he trained for years to hunt down vampires and his dad, Count Dracula. All Might laughs and says, "Oh, you're joking, aren't you? You're been roughing around with all these people? Wow." Deku gives All Might a picture of his father and said, This is him, and he's my dad." All Might tells Deku he can inherit his quirk. Deku says, "Yeah, I know. I've actually been wanting to try it out when it gets to the 8th successor. So, thank you. I'll beat All For One and my dad." For a few months, Deku and All Might trains. I'm actually time for the days of the UA test. Deku goes to UA. When Deku gets there, he walks to the door and starts to fall. Then he starts to float all of a sudden. Uraraka says, "Sorry I didn't ask you if I can use my quirk on you. It is a bad omen if you trip on a big day. Deku blushes and says, "Thank you for saving me from falling on my face. Oh, and my name is Izuku Midoriya." Uraraka blushes and says, "My name is Uraraka." And Deku giggles while saying, "That's a cute name. Well, we got to go before it starts. Well, I'm going to end it off here. Have fun. Enjoy the next video. And hit that outro." Actually, let's continue. Everything happens the same until robots. 3, 2, 1. Deku slows time down with magic, and hits 100 robots, and then waits somewhere, gets down, and just meditates. So, everyone starts to run to destroy robots, and the teachers say that there are 100 robots destroyed, but nobody was in the arena besides one kid. His name is Izuku Midoriya, and he's sitting down. Plus, the kids just started to run. Then a few minutes go by. The 0-point robot is summoned. Where it's close by Deku is at. And Deku gets up onto his feet, hearing a girl screaming, and sees people running away from a big robot. And he sees that it's Uraraka under a rubble. He runs to Uraraka and saves her, and then uses his flames and 100% of One for All. His flames turn blue all of a sudden, and he throws a massive punch with the flames, and it basically makes a huge fist of a huge meteor shower with flames, and it just melts the 0-point robot in a few seconds. And plus, it's falling apart. Everyone was surprised what Deku did in the test. Then the test was over. Deku got first in all of the tests. When Deku goes home, he waited for a week to get his results. I'm actually going to end it right here, so hit that outro.